Hello and welcome back. This is another fourth and fifth grade math multiplication video where we're going to be looking at how to multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers. Okay, here's the first one we're going to do together. And throughout this video, I'm going to show you how to do this in a few different ways, one way on each problem. So for this, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the standard algorithm. What that means is I'm going to put these numbers on top of each other, and I'm going to put the number that has the most digits on the top. Well, in this case, they both have the same amount of digits. They both have two digits, so it really doesn't matter which one I put on the top. So I'm just going to put the first one on the top. I'm going to put 40 up here and 12 down here. Okay, so now I'm going to start by multiplying the two numbers in the ones place. That's 0 times 2, which is 0. Then I'm going to multiply the number in the tens place at the top times the number in the ones place at the bottom. So that would be these two numbers. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, now that I've multiplied both of those top numbers by the 2, I'm going to cross it off. And I'm going to add a 0 in my second row so that I know that now I'm going to be multiplying by a number that's in the tens place, and that's the 1 on the bottom. So my next step is to multiply the 0 times the 1, which is 0, then to multiply both numbers in the tens place. So 4 times 1, which is 4. My last step is to add these up. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 8 plus 0 is 8, and 4 plus nothing is 4. So your final answer here would be 480. Okay, here's our next one. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this one using what we call partial product. Partial product is where we're going to pick one of these numbers to split up into their place values. Most of the time, you're going to pick the number with the most digits or the biggest number. In this case, they both have the same amount of digits. So I'll just pick the biggest number, which is 46, and split it up into its place values. 46 has a 4 in the tens place, so that represents the value of 40. And it has a 6 in the ones place, which represents the value of 6. Now what I'm going to do is multiply each of these times 32, or the other number. And I'm actually going to put the 32 on top of the 6 here. Okay. And the reason I did that is because when you're using kind of standard algorithm, what you want to do is put the number with the most digits on the top. So let's do that one first. Let's do 32 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. And whenever you have a two-digit answer, you need to drop the number in the ones place down and put the number in the tens place over and regroup it to the next place value. So I'm going to split up the 12 by putting the 2 here and the 1 up here. Okay, my next step is and I'm going to erase these. My next step is to multiply the number in the tens place times the number in the ones place. So that would be 3 times 6, which is 18. But then I have to add the number that got regrouped at the top, which is 1. So 18 plus 1 is 19. So I have another two-digit number. So I need to drop down the 9 and regroup the 1. So I'm going to drop the 9 here and regroup the 1 to the top of the next place value. Unfortunately, there's no numbers there, so it's actually just going to fall straight down and land right here. So this is going to end up being 192. Our next partial product that we need, and I'm going to go ahead and erase this over here since I don't need it anymore, is going to be 40 times 32. Well, if you've seen my video on multiplying numbers ending in zeros, you know that I can do a shortcut with this. I can multiply 32 times 4 and then add a 0 to the end. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rewrite this as 32 times 4, and I'm going to stick that 0 out here at the end just to remind myself to add it when I'm done. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 4, which is 8, and then 3 times 4, which is 12. So again, I have to split that up and put the 2 here and regroup the 1. There's nothing to hold the 1, so it's going to fall straight down. And we get 128, but we got to add that 0 here at the end. So there's our two partial products. We have 192 and 1,280. Our last step is to add those together. So I'm going to come over here and do 1, 2, 8, 0, and 192. And I'm going to add those together. 2 here, 8 plus 9 is 17. And then 1 plus 2 plus another 1 is 4. Plus 1 is 1. So the final answer here would be 1,472. Okay, here is our next one. We're going to take 26 and we're going to multiply it by 85. I'm going to show you how to do this using the box or area method. So I'm going to actually split up both numbers by their place values. Let's start with 26. 26 has a 2 in the tens place, so that represents 20, and a 6 in the ones place, which represents 6. So now that I have those, I'm going to go ahead and make a box under it and put 2 columns, one for the 20 and one for the 6. Now I have to split up the 85. An 8 in the tens place represents 80, and a 5 in the ones place represents 5. So now I have 2 rows. So if you've seen me do this in previous videos, you know I usually had 1 row when I was showing you, but now that we're up to 2-digit times 2-digit, that means that we're going to have 2 columns and 2 rows. So that box on the top left is going to be the product of multiplying 80 times 20, the number on top times the number to the side. 8 times 2 is 16, and then I'm going to add the 2 zeros, one from the 20 and one from the 80. The box below that will be the product of multiplying 20 times 5, the number on top times the number to the side. 2 times 5 is 10, and then I need to add the 1 from the 20, or sorry, not the 1, add the 0 from the 20. So this is what I get. I get 1,600 and 100 so far. Okay, now my choice is I can either add those up and put it down at the bottom, or I can keep multiplying. I think I'll add them up since they're kind of easy to add in our head. 1,600 plus another 100 is 1,700. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down here. For that top right box, I would need to multiply 80 times 6. That's the number on top times the number to the side. 8 times 6 is 48. And then I'm going to add a 0 at the end. So that would be 480. And then again, the bottom right would be 6 times 5. That's because that's the number on the top and the number on the side. So 6 times 5 is 30. I'm going to go ahead and add those two up. 0, 0 is 0. 8 plus 3 is 11. So I regroup here, and that becomes 5. So these are the two partial products that I got after adding together the 2 columns. Now I'm going to add everything together to get my final answer. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. 5 plus 7 is 12. So I'll put a 2 here and add another 1 here. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. Final answer here should be 2,210. Okay, here is our next one. We're going to take 41 and multiply it by 76. For this one, I'm going to use the standard algorithm. So that means I'm going to put the number that has the most digits on the top. In this case, they both have the same amount of digits, so I can put either one on top. I think I'll choose the 76. So I'm going to put the 76 up here and the 41 here. I left a little bit of extra space this time just so we can quickly see which numbers belong in which place value. 6 times 1 is 6. That's a single digit answer, so I don't need to split it up. 7 times 1 is 7. Okay, so now I've multiplied everything on the top times the 1. So I'm going to go ahead and cross it off. Then I have to add a 0 underneath that 6 to show that now I'll be multiplying by a number in the tens place, and that's the 4. Okay, my next step is to do 6 times 4, which is 24. That one I do have to split up. It is a 2-digit answer, so the 4 drops down and the 2 gets regrouped. 4 drops down here and 2 gets regrouped up here. Okay, my last step is to multiply 7 times 4, which is 28. And then I have to add the 2 that got placed up here. And when I get those added, I get 30. So again, that's a 2-digit answer. So the 0 gets dropped and the 3 gets regrouped. The 0 gets dropped down here and the 3 gets regrouped up to the next place value. But there are no numbers to hold it. So it's just going to fall down right here. Last step is to add these together. So 6 plus 0 is 6. 7 plus 4 is 11. 1 plus 0 is 1. And 3 plus nothing is 3. Final answer here would be 3,116. Okay, here is our final example for today's video. We're going to be multiplying 92 times 68. I'll show you again using the box or area method, which means I'm going to split up both of these numbers into their place values. So I'm going to split up 92 into 90 and 2. Then I'm going to draw a box under it and put the two columns. I'm going to split up 68 to 60 and 8. And then I'm going to give them 2 rows. The top left box would be 6 times 9, which is 54. And then add 2 zeros, one from 90 and one from 60. For the next one, 90 times 8, or for the next box, which is underneath that 5,400, 9 times 8 is 72. And then I'm going to add a 0 from the 90. For the top right box, that would be 60 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. And then I'm going to add a 0 from the 60. And that box that's left would be 2 times 8, which is 16. Okay, so I didn't add anything together yet. So I can come over here if I want and add everything at the same time, as long as I have everything lined up in the appropriate place values. So let me go ahead and keep doing this. Okay, there we go. 0, 0, 0, and 6 is 6. 2, 2, and 1 would be 5. 4 and 7 is 11, plus 1 more is 12. And 1 plus 5 is 6. So the final answer here would be 6,256. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you in another video soon.